everyone, welcome to another video. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Irit and on my channel I share all my crochet adventures. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and of course I would love for you to subscribe. So today I'm going to start with some finished objects. I have discovered the joy of making smaller things, which I don't think I really made a lot of since I started crocheting about a year ago, something like this. And yeah, so I have a few things to show you. And okay, so this first thing, it's a bit funny, but I really like how it turned out. It's this cowl, is that how you say it? You know, kind of like a neck warmer type of thing that I made from this super chunky yarn. It is, I think, super chunky. So like a 6 weight. Is there something bigger than a 6 weight? I think it's like definitely a 6 weight yarn, and I really like it. I don't know, I might consider leaving the house with it. My daughter, my 12-year-old, looked at it and she said, like, you know, it's nice and she likes the colors, but it's not something she would wear. And then like 5 minutes later she stole it and was hanging out with it the whole day, but at home. But I think actually, I was talking about this in previous videos, that I mostly wear kind of neutral clothes when I leave my house, and I do like, I really like, you know, like to wear taupe and like dusty pink and coral and all those colors. But I also really love color. And I was just saying, like, as I was also listening to my video, I think I forgot to mention something that is probably important, at least to me, which is that I don't like to draw attention to myself. I'm definitely more the like behind the scenes kind of personality. And yeah, it's just, I think, I mean, not that anyone should care about that, but I think that's probably sometimes one of those things that kind of keep me from going full-on rainbow unicorn on the outside world. So it's a bit too hot indoors for this. I followed a tutorial by Bloom Crochet. I want to say, I'm sure that the first word of the channel name is Bloom, but I think it's like Bloom Crochet. And she did this, exactly this project on her channel and showed how to do it. It's super simple. You can finish this in like a couple of hours, no problem. And I used, and I think she also used, a 12mm hook. You could probably go a little bit tighter. I could probably go a bit tighter, but I don't know if, I don't have an 11mm hook. Do they even make 11mm hooks? Someone said, thank you for that comment, that I push up my glasses a lot, and you're definitely right. And I will go to the optometrist and have them adjusted. So yeah, anyway, I really liked making this. It was a super fast make, and I also love the look. And you will see how much I love this look. So this is crocheted in the round, and yeah, I used 2 skeins for this. And I absolutely fell in love also with working with this yarn, even though, you know, it's not like super soft, but it does kind of keep you warm, you know, probably because it's like plastic and it doesn't breathe or anything. But, you know, with crochet or, you know, knitted stuff, you have a lot of holes in the fabric unless you crochet super, super tight. So air gets in, I guess. But it does keep you warm, even though it doesn't have like natural fabrics in it, natural fibers in it. And I also made with the other color that I got. This one I think is called Peacock, and I really like it. And then the other color is called Flamingo, and it's also really pretty. And I made my 5-year-old headband. I was going to make a hat for her, but she kind of stopped me after, I think I did like 3 rows. It's super chunky. And made her a headband, and she really likes it. So if she's happy, I'm happy, And yeah. And then I decided, okay, that maybe I should also make like a hat for myself, even if it's something I just wear indoors to keep myself warm, that's fine. And I started making this. And again, I'm using again a 12 millimeter hook, and it is quite, you know, it doesn't have like drape or anything. It's a little bit stiff. And then I thought maybe I could do like a little chair cover, because I have like a little stool in my bedroom next to my little, calling it a vanity, it's just a shelf where I keep my makeup on. But I have there like a stool, you know, one of those super cheap kind of metal ones, like the legs are metal and I think the seat is plastic from IKEA, or IKEA, I think, as you say in the US. Here we say IKEA. So I don't know how the Swedes say it. Interesting. So yeah, I'm not sure. I have one more skein and I really had fun working with these. I don't know if I would order more. Maybe now that I'm familiar with them, maybe it's like if I feel like I see or want to do like a specific project, I might grab a few. And these I've only found in the UK. Someone left me a comment that they were very excited to see, and we're hoping that I found maybe a like a stockist in the European Union. I haven't. I also looked at the company that makes it is called Signet, I want to say. It's CYGNET. I don't know how to pronounce it. And there's a swan. Is that a different name for a swan? I don't know. I'll have to Google that. But I looked at their like retailers list on their website, and I could only find UK-based shops, sadly. So I don't know if you can find these outside of the UK, sadly. But it's definitely something it's worth going to the UK for, to stock up on this fabulous yarn. It's really fun, and they also have like solid colors, and then there's also something, I wouldn't buy it because I don't use animal fibers, but they have like a wool blend that also looked very pretty. So I think this is super fun for like chunky accessories and home decor, like baskets or something like this. So this is where I'm at. I'm either thinking either a hat or a little basket, probably to keep more yarn in, because I just think it'll look pretty and I have enough yarn. So yeah, this is a fun thing. I also made, this is not a finished object. Sorry, I said I would start with finished objects. So I also made a slouchy hat, beanie is the word I want, actually I was going to do this for myself, but my glasses, now I'm very aware. So sorry if it disturbs anyone, I really need to adjust them. Yeah, so I made her a slouchy beanie, and I used the pattern from Raven's Crochet. So Sarah, if you're watching it, thank you for that pattern. I really enjoyed making it. And I made it with some dark yarn. This is the yarn that I used. I used Saver, and I think the color is anthracite, I want to say, something like this. So it's not like really black, but it has, you can see it has like some nice, it has like a nice look to it, kind of like a bit like heathered fibers. Sorry, the camera doesn't want to focus. Yeah. So I hope you can see. It's like, it's not black, it's a very dark gray, and yeah, really nice, very dark gray. Really nice to work with. I used, I think, a 5.5 or 4.5, maybe a 4.5 millimeter hook. It's a 4 weight yarn, but it's not like a chunky 4. It's like, it's not very thick. So I used that. It took me a few days to make the beanie, and my daughter loves it, and it looks fantastic. And even though I made it with acrylic and a relatively like small hook with a 4 weight yarn, I comfortably use a 6 millimeter hook. This time I really think it was a 4.5. So, you know, so it's still a hat, and I wanted to keep some warmth and to be not like full of holes. But it still has, because it's like so slouchy, It has a really nice, you know, it slouches very nicely. So thank you to Sarah for that pattern. And yeah, so I finished that. Now, let's go to the fail. Everything looks kind of bad when it has all those like loose ends attached to it, right? So I finished the sweater, and yeah, I still have the ends. And yeah, I'm not happy with how it turned out. I don't think it fits me nicely, and I'm sure I could make adjustments to it, but maybe I should. I will definitely not leave it as it is because I don't think I will wear it. Part of it is my fault because I used acrylic yarn and it doesn't really have like a nice drape to it, especially around here. So there's like these weird folds in the sweater that are just it doesn't look very flattering, and I don't think it's like boxy but not in a good way, so I don't think I will keep it as it is. And I just think at this point, even though I am lazy, like I'm lazy by nature, I'm just lazy, I think it's worth to, I don't even know if I'll like frog the whole thing. Maybe I'll just cut the ribbing at the bottom and then open it. And I don't know, I'll see how it looks as a cardigan. You know, you could like adjust it. I could add rows here or to the back or remove rows. I'm not even sure. That's the problem. I'm not even sure how I can fix this. I might just, I don't know, maybe take some rows off the back and make a simple front and kind of do a more fitted sweater, or just something that is, yeah, just a bit fitted and doesn't have like too much extra fabric, because this doesn't, it just like bulges. It doesn't look nicely. Like, you know, this one, for example, this is mostly cotton and it is kind of big, but it still kind of folds nicely. I don't know, it has a nice drape, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I do like the sleeves. The sleeves turned out nice. I made a cute little ruffle here, so I do like them. Yeah, so I guess it's just like I don't want everything to go to waste, but I have to figure out how to make it better, and I'm not sure I'm like into it right now. So we'll see. Maybe I should just like take it apart, so that part at least is over, and then figure out what to do about it. So yeah, that's a finished object almost. Ends are not sewn in, but a bit of a fail. I do like the color of the yarn. Someone asked me, this is fuchsia, and sadly they don't have, this is a very nice acrylic yarn when it comes to like acrylic yarns. I'm not a snob when it comes to acrylic yarns, but I do think with wearables, sometimes it's challenging to find really, really nice acrylic yarn that has also like a nice drape to it and feels nice against your skin. Moving on to, okay, let's move on to something fun. Some new yarn. That's always fun. That's always fun, right? Okay, so I ordered a bit of Fluffy Day from Hobbii, and I was using it for the, like, this yellow project that I was working on that I'll talk about in a bit after I show you what I got. And I really enjoyed working with it, and I really enjoy the way that it looks. So I just wanted to see, I wish they sold just like color samples, so you could have the whole color range in front of you, because at Hobbii they're pretty good with their pictures. It kind of matches the colors, but for example, I bought this and their bigger or like thicker version of Fluffy Day XL, I think it's called, in the same color, and it is in reality the same color, which I really like that about them, about their yarns, that they have some yarns like Fluffy Day and like Amigo where you have the same color range in different weights, and I think that makes so much sense, and I wish other brands did that as well. Because once you get familiar with the yarn and the colors in the range, it's really nice to just be able to, okay, now I want to use DK, now I want to use worsted, and have that option. So yeah, so with Fluffy Day, the color that I bought, I'll show you later, I bought it in two different weights. It's exactly the same color, but on screen it doesn't look the same at all. So they're not always accurate, even in Hobbii, where, as I said, usually they do a good job with the color. But I wish they just sold like color samples. Scheepjes have those, and I ordered like a couple of those cards, and it's so helpful. Yeah, so Hobbii, why don't you do that? It would be really, really nice to see all the colors. Okay, so I'll show you what I got. This is color 11, and as you can see, it's a lovely purple. I think on screen it's a little bit brighter, like a tad brighter than it is. So as you can see, this, I'll tell you about Fluffy Day. This is 100% acrylic. 100-gram ball gives you 285 meters or 311 yards. It's a 4-weight yarn, and it has like a nice halo to it. And what else? They recommend 4 to 5 millimeter hooks. Yeah, I would say that's about right. This is designed in Denmark, made with love in Turkey. And what else? Yeah, you can wash it 30 degrees, like nothing else. No ironing, no drying, nothing. So this is color 11. This is color 2. I think it's like their cream. Very pretty. And I'll just show you this one next to their yellow, which doesn't look the same. This looks, I think, much better in real life than it does on screen. It has kind of a warmth to it, and almost like it's a bit just like more orangey than I think it looks on screen. So that's how these two look next to each other. I think they look pretty together. And then the color that I bought with the thought of making like a twin set, but I might actually think about I might try combining it in one sweater. So maybe make the body with a thinner yarn with this one, and then the sleeves. I really like the idea of like a little bit of puffy sleeves or more textured sleeves. I think it also fits like my body shape, and maybe I'll do that instead of like a twin set. So I'll show you the colors. Very pretty. It's not my usual like bright situation. But I do like this color. So as I said, in the regular Fluffy Day yarn, the picture doesn't look at all like the real thing. But on the Fluffy Day XL, which I'll show you in a second, it's a more accurate picture. But it's the same color. I think it's called Sage, and it's number 22. And I think it looks kind of green on the screen. It's a real sage color, so that kind of muted, bluish green, like sage. It looks very gray on screen. I think from my experience, because I mostly film myself painting, the turquoises and like those colors, I guess the shades of cyan or something, really sometimes don't come across the camera. But yeah, it's a really beautiful color. And I also like how it looks with the cream color. So this is the regular Fluffy Day. And then this one is the Fluffy Day XL, which I think it's super exciting. And I think it could make for like really, really fun makes, especially if you like to combine yarns. So I'll show you them next to each other. There we go. Yay. So this is Fluffy Day. This is Fluffy Day XL. And let's try not to move the focus. There. They both feel really nice. The XL feels even nicer. It's pretty soft. Yeah, it's soft. I would say it has a little bit of that, what I imagine is how, wool feels like, but not in a scratchy way. I mean, I'm not super sensitive, but I don't think, I wouldn't call this scratchy. It's not like that super, super soft synthetic polyester softness, but I think it's very, very nice for wearables. So let me tell you about this. 100 grams, wait, you'll understand this. 100 grams will give you 140 meters. So this one is 285. So like half of the meters, which is around 153 yards. They say this is a 4-weight yarn. And they say this one is a 4-weight yarn. Explain that to me, Hobbii. That doesn't make sense. So I would probably say this is close to 3. And this one is like a chunky 4, I would say. Yeah, I think I feel comfortable with that characterization. And they recommend a 6.5 to 7 millimeter hook. I would definitely use, yeah, like a 7 without a problem. Yeah, so now that I'm looking at them, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a body with the regular one, and then sleeves with the chunkier one, and then do cuffs with a regular one. I think that's going to be fun. So I'm going to try and do that. Now I'll show you my current work in progress. So I have a few, and yeah. Okay, let's start with the fun ones. So this one, I'm super, super happy about this for several reasons. First, because I'm using all my scraps. It's like eating all my scraps and also eating some other yarns along the way. So this is like a scrap blanket, and I'm using, I'll just show you the stitch, but I'll talk a bit more about the stitch later. This is it's so nice. I'm using 2 strands, which is the first time that I've combined 2 strands, and I love it. I don't know if I'll go like more than like 3. I think maybe for my next blanket, I'll try to use 3 strands of worsted weight and just like go through some skeins that I have in my stash. I have a lot of like one skein of a lot of different colors because I just wanted to see the colors before I order a large amount in the same color. And a lot of them I don't want to buy more yarn, and I don't want to make an entire project with that, so this is perfect. What I combined here is some white macaron from Ice Yarns, which looks like this. Now I've used macaron quite a bit, and I don't know, this white one is a little bit different it feels a little bit different than the ones I've tried till now. For example, this lovely, lovely pink. I love this color. I think this one feels nicer. It's a little bit thicker than this, and it just feels softer. This one feels a little bit more scratchy. Yeah, I don't think I would have a problem wearing it, but it doesn't feel as nice as the light pink one. I love this one. I made a cardigan with it earlier in the year, and I really, really loved working with it. It's such a good synthetic alternative to wool if you have allergies, or if you're vegan and you don't use animal yarns, and you want like a more like a chunky worsted weight. Yeah, I would say this is quite, they call it a number 4. It's quite a chunky 4, but it's also very like nice and fluffy. I made my cardigan using an 8mm hook, and it really has like a nice drape for, you know, worsted weight. So yeah, so that's what I have throughout, because I bought a bunch. They had like a sale on the macaron, and I bought a bunch of the like, this is ecru, they call this color. I bought a bunch of it, and yeah, so I'm very, very happy to use it, and I love how it looks combined with color. And then everything else is either Chunky Monkey Macaron or Amigo XL, which I had scraps from other projects. So I think also like a fun way to do these blankets, if you have like a bunch of scraps, is to actually start with the scraps, and then you have, you know, some rows that kind of change color every row, and then move on to some of those one skeins that you want to use for something. And that's what I did here. So I had here this really beautiful beige color from Chunky Monkey. I really like the color, but I don't see myself like making an entire project, or I don't have a current plan to use that. So I thought it would look great in this blanket instead of just like hoarding it for an unknown project. I can always buy more. There's always more yarn to buy. So this is like one skein of that, and then I had one skein left from the pink macaron from that cardigan. Perfect way to use it up and not have those just odd skeins lying around. So I used that, and yeah, and then I'm going to use probably what I have here. So a bunch of these. This is another Amigo XL. I like the color, but I don't have like an immediate plan on using it. And I really love Amigo XL, the way that it works up. It's very, very soft, worked up, really great acrylic yarn. The colorage is fantastic, and they do have sales occasionally and also bulk prices, not always, on Hobbii on this yarn. It's really lovely. But I don't know if I like it so much for wearables, and so I think I'll be comfortable using it up in this blanket. And then I have leftovers from just like different projects that I've shown here, I think. And I don't know, right now, as you can see, I mean, this is, it's like a nice width for like a blanket that you can put on your sofa or something. I don't know, I guess you can have an idea. It's probably around 160, I want to say, something like that, probably. And right now I have probably like 50 centimeters of it, so I think I have to go through my stash and find, I don't have enough scraps to make like a full blanket. So I'll have to look for a few more skeins, and I don't know, maybe I'll just use all my scraps and then go again to, like, my idea was, sorry I'm a bit all over the place, I have to like arrange my thoughts. My idea was to, as I said, to have like a few of these scraps, so the color changes every row at the beginning and at the end of the blanket, and then in the middle have these slightly larger sections. You can see that like a skein, this was a 100-gram skein, so it made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, and then I have a few more here with a macaron skein. So have a bit more of those wider stripes in the middle, and then end again with the more colorful variation. But I think I'll just go with the flow and just use up stuff and see how it goes. I think either way it'll turn out nice. It has such a nice feel to it because of the double strand. I'm using a 12mm hook. It works up fast. It's not too hard to work, and you know, it's not the struggle that I can imagine working with like 6 strands can be. And it looks fantastic. And this yarn, this stitch, I'm obsessed with it. So the way that I did it, it was very much inspired by the cowl thing that I showed you from Bloom's Crochet, but I just altered the pattern a little bit. So the way I'm doing this, this is the right side, and then this is the wrong side. It doesn't look bad, but this is super attractive to me. So this is on the right, this is all half double crochets. On the right side, I do a back loop only double crochet, half double, sorry, back loop only, half double crochet, after the, you know, chain and half double crochet on your foundation row. So back loop only, half double crochet, and then on the wrong side, I do a third loop, but it's like on the front you know, the third loop is on the front, like facing me. So that'll be like the third loop, front loop, the back loop. So I'm going into the front loop, and that kind of pushes the, you know, the V that you usually go into, that it pushes it to the front of the blanket. I thought about doing a quick little tutorial just so you can see how that works. I've never done a crochet tutorial on my channel, but I think this is worth it because it's just so pretty, and I love this stitch. And I also used, like, I played around with it a little bit on the fuchsia sweater that I showed you. That wasn't in the pattern, but I played around a little bit. There you can't see it so much because it's one color and it's a little bit of a darker color. But here, because it's lighter colors and it's almost like a variegated yarn because of all the different scraps that I put into it, you can really see these stitches. I love it. To me, it looks reminds me of like a knitted look, which I like. I really like the look of the stockinette stitch in knitting, but I don't like the process of knitting as much as I like the process of crochet. So I'm very drawn to stitches that look like knitted stitches, and I think this one definitely does. Or I just like it, whatever you want. And I'm really enjoying this project. This is kind of like my brainless evening, sitting on the sofa, I don't have to think too much about it project. Loving it. Highly recommend. Yeah, so 2 strands. One is always the ecru, and then the other one is a color. And I'm using a 12mm hook. As for the sweater that I showed you, yeah, so I'm going to scrap this idea because, yeah, this construction idea, the fact that I haven't seen anyone else do it is probably because it sucks and it doesn't work. It might work for me with just like my body. It might work for me to have this strip kind of going on the back of my sweater, so maybe starting on the shoulder and then a little bit back. But on the front it doesn't work because, you know, you just need to do some decreases here. It just doesn't work like this. The reason that I know this is because I made another row at the top and like a neck opening, and as you can see, it just doesn't work. There's just like too much fabric here, so it definitely needs some decreases here. Yeah, I don't know. I have to think about it. But yeah, as it is, it's not working. I love the idea of like combining these threads. More about that in the next chat because I have something that I think is exciting to talk about. And yeah, so I'm thinking I definitely want to explore this combination of fibers and stitches more, but in a sweater I would either do just like a square and then add the sleeves later, and that also gives you the option of adding just like simple sleeves, so that the focus of like all those color changing, stitch changing is just on the body, not everywhere. That might look pretty. Or do start with all those different colors and stitches, you know, under your arms. So where it starts, where the construction is or can be very simple. In theory, you could just do a tube under here and then just figure out the shoulders and the hands separately with one color, one stitch, or use, you know, a pattern that you like and just do this part with all the like more intricate, not intricate, but you know, more like busy or challenging things. So you don't have to figure out construction and this at the same time, or I don't have to figure it out. So I'm thinking that that's probably the way. Yeah, this is going nowhere. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think like, can I use this without like frogging it? I might not even frog it. I might just like scrap it. But this is like too big for to be like a top up, like a bottom up sweater. It's just too big for me. So we'll see. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon in another video. Bye bye.